Hi everyone, welcome to this new channel, Writers at Heart. My name is Daniela and I'm so excited to get this channel started with my friend Julia. She and I have been talking about getting this channel started for so long and now it's finally here. Julia and I met in college through a writing club, and even though she's graduated and I haven't, we decided to keep in touch through this channel, not only to help each other with our own writing, but to help other writers feel like they're not alone. We'll be posting videos about our writing advice, our own writing experiences, and anything that's going on in the writing community. We want this channel to be a place where all writers can come together and have a conversation and expand the community as a whole. We thought the best way to start this channel off was through the Writer's Life for Me tag, where you get to know us a little bit. So let's get started. Number 1. What kind of writer are you? A plotter, a pantser, or a plantser? For those who don't know, a plotter is a person who plots out their entire story start to finish, whereas a plantser just writes the story without any planning done at all. I am a plantser. No, I'm a pantser. I'm a pantser. I write my story start to finish, hardly any planning. Usually what I do is I come up with the story idea, write a few chapters, and I keep going from there. I usually outline my story afterward, once I'm done I usually outline once I'm done with writing, so I make sure there are no plot holes and everything's consistent. A planter is a person who does a mix of both. Number 2. When did you start writing and what made you want to try it? I started writing when I was really young, around 3rd or 4th grade. That's when I really started writing short stories or longer stories. Usually what I would do is I would write short stories in my notebook while I was not paying attention to the teacher. But it was usually how I spent my time when I was either bored or not paying attention. I would just write some sort of story. And it sort of evolved from there. From middle school to high school, I started writing more, bigger, complex stories, and I sort of fell in love with it and I couldn't stop, so that's how I became a writer. Number 3. What inspires your stories? Most of my inspiration comes from music and art. I listen to a lot of different music. Some of it's kind of weird, some of it's kind of mainstream, but all of it kind of melds together into this sort of fantasy world that I live in. I am a fantasy writer, so. Another aspect is art. I like to look at a lot of artwork, particularly wallpaper. A lot of fantasy wallpaper is super beautiful and incredibly detailed, so I use a lot of that to really inspire my stories and my fantasy worlds that I come up with. I guess the other aspect would be my dreams. A lot of my dreams tend to be very chaotic and strange, and I like to include some of those aspects into my writing as well. Number 4. What themes do you explore in your writing? As of right now, through my first story that I'm writing on, I'm really exploring the themes of identity, legend, the type of person you want to be when you leave this world. I'm also exploring a lot of the ideas of relationships, not romantic relationships, relationships you have with your family members and friends, and how people bounce off of each other. Lastly, I think the biggest theme I'm focusing on right now is diversity. It's a fantasy novel, so there is a lot of diversity in the story, so I think through my characters I'm able to really look into how people should see and treat other people. Number 6. Where are you in your writing journey? I am currently on my 2nd draft of my work in progress, my WIP. I'm currently looking for beta readers, but I'm also looking for people who are near me so I can get really good feedback on my story. I'm hoping to get into the editing phase really soon in terms of professional editing, but I don't see that happening for a very long while. Considering I'm still in college, I have to make sure all of my activities are put in the right spots in my priority list, so even though I love writing, sometimes I do have to put it on the back burner. Number 7. Have you entered any writing contests? I've entered multiple contests, not that many though, definitely less than 10. I've entered poetry contests, I've entered one short story contest, and none of them have won so far, but I do plan to keep going and try entering some more magazines, more, contests that I can find, so I can hopefully get my voice out there, not just through a book, but maybe through a short story or a magazine and what have you. Number 8. Who are your writing heroes? That's a hard one. Oh my gosh. I have to say I have a fair few of writing heroes, but I think I can put them into 3 main categories. My first hero I would have to say is Margaret Peterson Haddix. She was the reason I started reading in the first place and got me really excited about reading books and eventually writing. She was a journalist first and eventually turned into a full-time writer, so that's the kind of life I want to live. Another one of my heroes is Patrick Rothfuss, who wrote the Kingkiller Chronicles. He is an incredible fantasy writer. I want to write just as well as he does, although I don't ever think I can. And I think his books are phenomenal, so I would love to just have a conversation with him of how he comes up with his ideas. They're insane. And thirdly, my writing heroes are probably people who are here on the YouTube platform trying to carve out their own writing path. For example, Jenna Moresi, Kim Chance, Vivian Reese, Mandy Lynn, a lot of other incredible writers who are on here trying to help people become the best writers that they can be through their own advice. And if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't keep writing the way I have and keep pushing for this dream that I have to become a published writer. Number 9. Have you been to any writing conferences? I've never been to any writing conferences. I burped. Excuse me. I've never been to any writing conferences, although I hope I can one day. I have been to a writer's retreat, which was very fun. It was a one-day thing, but I really loved it, and I would love to do one of those too. My dream before I graduate college is to go to a writing conference, probably somewhere in New York. That would be so fucking... Oh, Lord. I don't want to become a cursing thing. That would be amazingly cool. No, don't put that either. Hopefully a writing conference in New York. That would be so much fun and so cool to meet a bunch of other writers. I think it would really shape myself into a much more... And number 10, what are your top 3 writing tips? The first thing would be to remind yourself every single day that the people who read and edit your work are trying to make your work better, not bring you down as a person. Reminding yourself that the people who are reading your stuff are trying to make it better will really help you not only go through the process of actually editing it with their advice, but to help you with your self-esteem. My second tip would be to keep sending letters. I know that I have gotten rejected multiple times. I haven't even entered the query trenches, but I know I'm gonna get rejected there too. So I like to think that when I do get to that point in my life, I want to keep telling myself just one more letter. Just one more letter, and eventually you will find someone who finds potential in your work and you will get published. Just one more letter. And the last piece of advice, honestly, is to take a break. You know, you don't have to write every single day to be a writer. Sometimes you do deserve a break. Sometimes you do need to just step back, read a book, play a video game, whatever it is, and give your work some time to breathe so that you can just go back into it with a fresh pair of eyes and really work on what needs to be improved. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you liked this video and you got a good idea of what kind of person I am. I'm really excited about this channel, and I hope that you keep coming back for more writing advice videos and any other writing videos. Hopefully you'll stick around and look for Julia's videos. She'll be posting on this channel with me, so keep an eye out for her videos as well. All of our links for any social media and such, if you do want to follow us, are down in the description below, so please look for that. So again, thank you guys so much. Come back for more